Hello everyone. Winter time is here and the lakes are not frozen enough yet to be ice fishing, but I figured it'd be time to start reviewing and going over some of the tackle I purchased between fall and just about now. And the tackle I want to talk about for this evening is just the Berkeley Powerblades and what differentiates them from the rest of the market. To really start off, I picked up both of these lures off of directly Berkeley's website, which I'll plan on linking in the description in a moment. I mainly picked these up because I don't have anything else quite like them in terms of a double Colorado and a double Willow. And I'll go over the reasons behind these choices in a moment. Now, the number one thing people would probably ask me is that, hey, what's the big deal behind these things? To me, the highlight of these lures, if you're gonna just get them and be like, I'm gonna use these for a little bit, it would be, for one, the hook is farther back and it is longer than a standard spinnerbait. Now I can pull out another spinnerbait made by Northland Tackle here. Get this guy out. And we've got this guy here, a standard reed runner. We'll bring this over to our little panel here. And yeah, I have my other spinnerbait tied on for the moment just because I was actually fishing it and seeing how it was swam, but let's see here. Let's get our jig heads all lined up and everything. Let's see how this looks. So as you can see, from the front of the bait, actually we'll make this even more scientific here. Let's get them all perfectly lined up. So from the front of the bait, and you can see from the front of the jig head, if you evenly line that up, you can see the Berkeley Powerblade has almost an extra inch, I'd say even an inch and a quarter of just pure hook space. Now what does this do for your lure? This makes it so you do not have to run a trailer hook or anything like that, or a stinger hook or anything of that matter on your spinnerbait, which also means you can run full-sized soft plastics on the back of your bait without any weird rigging methods. Personally, I like this way more than having to rely on a trailer hook, because a trailer hook doesn't allow any of that, meat for a fish to suck in, because otherwise, if you only have a trailer hook and just standard bait hook, that fish is only sucking in a piece of metal, which is just, it's going to lead to poor hookups and poor catch rates. Going back to our other spinnerbait here, another interesting fact about these spinnerbaits is that they do have power bait cooked straight into the skirt. So much like the slobber knocker, which came out a little bit earlier, the power bait isn't like oozed onto there. It's actually like caked and like caked, baked, whatever you want to call it. It's like it is inside that skirt, and no matter how many times you fish it, wet, dry, anything, there's always going to be that little bit of power bait sent to it. I mean, I'm going to say it. I licked it once, and yes, it's still icky. So take my word for it. That scent is not going anywhere. The scent and the flavor is not going anywhere anytime soon. A couple other little tiny features you might notice on these is that they do have the enlarged eyes, which Berkeley is starting to become a little bit more famous for, which I do personally like, because sometimes I'm a little picky about my jig heads on the spinnerbait, but these I haven't had to worry about them. I don't have to change out the eyes, I don't have to paint them or anything. I'm able to leave them just as they are. Now, to go over the choice reasons why I got these, this specific one is a Berkeley compact size. These are actually half-ounce sized or half-ounce weighted spinnerbaits. But the half-ounce is not up here in the head, it's actually elongated into the back. Does this kill your hook size? No, it doesn't. Even on the standard, normal full-size ones, the hook is still far back, just as it is on this one. So either one you get, it's not going to matter. It's just the big deal is that the weight is pushed into the back of the head, so you don't have as nearly of a large of a head or nearly as large of a skirt profile. So it allows that when this bait is swimming through the water, you have a much smaller profile, similar to the bait fish size that we have in the north. Again, my choices were kind of based on, hey, it's either, summertime clear crystal water, or in the winter or spring or fall, where we have our super kind of dingy, tannic colored rivers and flowing waterways. Because to me, this is almost a perfect spinnerbait. The black and blue, a little bit of that kind of, I forgot what it's called, basically just purple. And you get that double Colorado. To me, double Colorado is much more applicable than a single Colorado, which is massive. Because if you've ever watched your spinnerbait underwater, you'll notice that your Colorado blade, instead of a willow blade, kind of vibrating back and forth. The Colorado really does oscillate quite heavy. It's really going under there. And I sometimes find a fish will like follow it back to the boat, or back to the shore, as I should say, and they'll just bonk their head on top of that blade. And I find it just, you know, for the size of the fish that we get up here in the north, it's just not worth it to have such a large blade in the back. I'd rather take a smaller blade and have better hookups than have to suffer from maybe a little bit less vibration, a little bit less flash. I'd rather take that and get more fish, or at least more follows and more bites. A couple other tiny things with these spinnerbaits is that they are designed with a smaller gauge wire so that you get that perfect amount of vibration in the actual wire and a good amount of tail shimmy out of the spinnerbait. It's not as pronounced on the double willow, but it is very much almost chatterbait-like on this double Colorado. There's not too much complicated here. I mean, these really are just spinnerbaits. It's just that if you're going to take anything away from this video, is that they have power bait cooked into the skirt. They have an elongated and just as wide Shanahassee style hook, so you don't have to run a trailer hook or anything fancy. You can put your normal plastics on. They have a diameter specific wire for each type, and they use a good ball bearing swivel up here to ensure a consistent action. And they have an R-bend hook here so that you do get the shimmy in the wire and in the normal bait. You have a hand-tied skirt, and you have on the compact, you have a smaller profile with heavier weights available for your choosing. Multiple colors are available. I only bought 2 because these are the ones I chose. But if you head over to Berkeley's website, you'll see they have a ton of colors, ton of blade options, blade colors. Honestly, anything you could really ever dream of, they probably have it. So if you really want to, just give it a try. It's a spinnerbait. You might catch something, you might not. It's just a matter of, hey, take into account what type of water you're fishing, and take those factors and apply it to the design of the spinnerbait that you're choosing. So that's my quick little video outtake of the Berkeley Powerblade spinnerbait. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys very soon.